Welcome to Fix SLP, the podcast shaking up the field of speech-language pathology. We're calling out the barriers that hold clinicians back, fixing broken systems that limit our care, and giving the power of our profession back to the people who live it every day. This is where fearless clinicians come together. It's time to change the field with our voices, leadership, and advocacy leading the way.
So let's fix SLP.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Jeanette, and today, after years with an S, trying to plan collaborations with Jordan Monteith, you might know her before as Jordan Carroll, JRC, the SLP. After trying to collaborate forever, we are finally one-on-one, not in the same room, but in the same podcast room to do a podcast together. So I'm really excited. So hi, Jordan.
Hi, thank you for having me. It has definitely been years, so I'm glad we were able to collab, get this together. I'm happy to be here.
Jordan and I got to sort of meet a bunch of years ago when we were on a research project together that was called SLP Data Initiative, which kind of fed into the creation of Fix SLP and probably some of the stuff you've done as well. We got to ask SLPs about strengths and weaknesses in the field. And since then, we've followed each other and we've liked each other's stuff. And I accidentally called you a bunch of times when I had a student named Jordan. So there was that. But we haven't been able to get together. So even though right now we are going through the 92507 crisis of 2026, I saw something new that Jordan was doing. And I was like, you know what? I'm squeezing this in. We have to do it. It's that important. So I reached out to Jordan and I said, here's what I'd like to do for you. Can you come on the pod? And she's like, absolutely. And like, here we are. So Jordan, why don't you tell us what I saw on social media that you're launching or that you have launched? Because I've already done it.
So I started Speech Connect. It's a new community-driven clinician directory. And it's the first of its kind. It's the only directory where you can like filter out all these different things from identity to specialty, care approach, location, payment options, and a variety of options that I just want to be accessible. So the goal is for communities to be able to find an SLP that aligns with them, that meets their needs, and also to increase the visibility of clinicians. Because right now there is no modern or up-to-date like database of clinicians or of SLPs. So I created this so that we are more accessible. People can find us, people can find the work that we're doing, and communities can find someone that's aligned with what they need.
Yes, girl. And I feel like it aligns with the mission of Fix SLP, which isn't just like telling people, which we don't actually do, to not keep the CCC. It's just we are fixing problems in the field that we identify. We're doing something about it. So it's not just the CCC. It's Jordan sees that there is a problem for people finding clinicians that match their needs, no matter what that need is. And she's like, okay, I'm just going to do this. Like our logo is we don't wait for change, we make it. You didn't wait. You're just like, I already have 5,000 jobs. That's not even a number, but that's what I have. And I'm not going to wait for somebody else to do this. I'm going to figure out how to get this done because it's a need in the field that needs addressed. And bam, there it was.
Yeah. I mean, because for me, like weekly, at least somebody in my family, a cousin, a family friend, another colleague, somebody's reaching out to me like, hey, do you know an SLP in this area? Do you know a Black SLP here? Do you know an autistic SLP here? Do you know a Spanish speaking SLP in this area? Like all the time, weekly, I'm getting these people asking me for these things because they don't know where to look. They're not accessible. Families are in waitlists like for 6 months to a year at a time because they're just given this list of SLPs that might be available or might not. Like it's clearly a problem. And then I know on the other side of so many SLPs who want to start a business, have just started, trying to take on independent clients, want to start their own private practice, but don't know where am I supposed to find clients? How do I look for them? How do I tell them where to find me? Do I have to have like this whole like grandiose website or business where people can, search for me? Like I just want to have a central location where we can access each other. And there's nothing like it. Right now, the biggest thing or the closest thing to it would be ASHA ProFind. Of course, to be on ASHA ProFind, you have to be ASHA certified. You don't have to do that for Speech Connect. You can be licensed in your state and your license number is verified and you're good to go. You're on the directory. So that is one of the biggest things for me is if we're going to reduce gatekeeping, like let's find the solution to the problem and increase access as well.
Mm-hmm. And something we've committed to with Fix SLP is that we aren't going to keep the information that people need to advocate behind a paywall. And I think there's a lot of ways that people can advocate. So one way that we've done that is we've asked for sustaining partnerships. For $5 a month, will you walk beside us and help us pay our bills behind the scenes? The biggest of which is a lawyer, right? I meet with a lawyer at least once a month, if not more. And if he's doing work after those meetings, I have to pay for that. And that's not sustainable for me. So people can help advocate with their money, but also they can help advocate with liking and sharing and engaging and, getting involved in other leading projects. And I really loved that about what you are doing as well, because you very explicitly said this is going to be free, right? Always.
Absolutely. It will always be free to list your own listing as a clinician. It's going to be free to join. It's free to be searchable. That will be free, period. And it'll be free for the families, communities, schools, organizations who are looking for clinicians as well. That will remain free forever. That's part of the accessibility. That's what matters to me. Like, care should be equitable. Care should be accessible to everybody. And that means we need to be able to find it.
Yeah, I recognize that. People don't have a hard time finding white women to treat their children. And that's what I was seeing too, is like, this is really needed for people of color. Amazing. Like, I've just got goosebumps, and we've already been talking for an hour and I wasn't getting goosebumps before. But like, that's just, it's so needed, Jordan. Like, it's so needed. My life is crazy. And I was like, Jordan, we have to talk about this.
No, it's so true. And like, I feel like I didn't really recognize how needed it was until I started my private practice. And so many families were like, my child has never had an SLP that looked like them. We've been looking for somebody for over a year, not regardless of race. We have not found anybody who is accepting clients who can come see them. We haven't found anybody who can come into the home, because going to and from therapy is another barrier that people don't realize. Like, it's hard for families to do that. So if you can filter out somebody who can come in my home to treat my child, this is the place to do that. This is a central location where you can offer that service, where people can come find exactly what you provide.
So I forget, because from the time that I saw this and immediately put my name in your registry to now, which was what, I don't know, 3 days ago. I don't know. It's my last week has been like one big blur. I forget. Did you ask, as part of what we had to put in, what insurances we accept, or if we're cash based? Did you ask that question?
No, that's a huge factor. So we don't have like specific insurance providers yet. We do have like government provided, so Medicaid, Medicare. And then we have like providing in-network services. So then when you go deeper into the profile, or you can reach out to that person to see what's in network. Then we have out-of-network, we have private pay only, cash-based. So there's lots of different tiers that you can look for. So it really is just based on what the value of the person looking, like, what does that family need? Are you prioritizing, okay, I need this government insurance, so I'm going to filter that out. Or I specifically need somebody to come to see me or come see my child. That's what I'm prioritizing in this filtering. There's so many different options of so many different varieties of things that people need when they're looking for care. And so I just want to be able to provide that for people.
That's what I thought too. I know my friend Bree lives in Columbus, Ohio, and owns her own private practice. And she is a Black woman. And her number one goal is to serve underserved families in her community, which largely are on Medicaid. I'll have to link up, everybody, I'll link up her podcast in the show notes, because she was on the podcast talking about how she worked for multiple years to raise the Medicaid rate in Ohio, because we were around $32 or something. That's not sustainable to keep her business open. So again, we don't wait for change, we make it. She didn't wait for somebody else to fix that. She got in there. And not only did she get it raised for SLPs, but they raised it like across the board for 6 or 7 professions. I think there were a bunch that got raised. And she called the other day and was upset because CareSource, which is our major Medicaid provider in Ohio, is making cuts. as I think many Medicaid providers are. As less and less people take Medicaid, I think that's going to be even more important. Your thing is going to be even more important for people to access the help and the care partners that they need.
Exactly.
Because there's nowhere to look.
Where are they supposed to find it?
We don't need to wait for ASHA to do this stuff, and nor should we have to pay them to be a member of their community to get our services out there. We just shouldn't. And shame on them.
Exactly.
I'm never afraid to say that.
Never. I completely understand. And it's true. Like this is like a common phrase now, but you can just do things. Like I realized there's a problem. I figured out how to start it. I learned new software. I like sat on my couch and didn't move for probably 72 hours just figuring out how to make this become a thing, because I was tired of not having an answer when people asked me. I was tired of not having a referral network. When people call me, I have my own private practice. I'm cash based or private pay only. So when people ask me and I'm like, they ask, do I take this specific insurance? I want an answer for them. I want a place to be able to point them. Like, I don't, but I know exactly where you can look. And so I created that because I think part of being in this field is you literally just want to help people. Like, and I can't help everybody based on how my business is, but I want to be able to find somewhere or find a way that I can. So this has become that vehicle for me as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you're doing it. We talked about my friend, Colleen Ashford. You know what? I'll link her up in the show notes too. She was helping out with Fix SLP for a while and identified something we weren't doing. And I was like, girl, go do it. You don't need to be with me. Go do it. And she did. And she's in California, Southern California. We all know what's going on there. Right. And so we need more people like you, like Colleen, like me, all identifying a need that we feel passionate about and just doing it. I'm excited. You and I were talking about speaking at conventions, and those requests for pricing and invitations have started coming in for me for state conventions. And so I have committed to 2. And my topic is using your own strengths for the purpose of advocacy and talking about how you were created. None of us are made the same. Your unique set of circumstances and strengths and weaknesses, you are already made for the thing that you are supposed to be doing. And I believe that the desires of our heart are there for a reason. And you just need to listen to them and jump in and go do it. And so I can't wait to start talking to SLPs across the country about this, because people keep asking me, well, how do I become an advocate? I don't know how to do this. You just figure it out. You figure it out. I mean, my created, nobody can see this, but it says created with a purpose on my sleeve. Man, I always knew I had a loud mouth and a lot of opinions, and I think I found my space. You were created for this, Jordan. People were created for this kind of advocacy. And I can't stress enough. If you're doing a thing like this, get with me. We'll get you on the podcast, because I want to feature people who are winning. And one of the things that I asked you, because I know when we started Fix SLP, that costs money. You're a newlywed. You're not an old. You are still very young. I mean, you've still got a long time in this field, but you are experienced enough. By the way, you aren't old. Are you still in your 20s, your early 30s?
Just turned 30 in September.
Okay. Am I allowed to air that?
Yeah. I'm a proud 30.
Okay. You just turned 30, Jordan. You do SLP social scene. You do Black SLP magic. You did SLP data initiative. You mind exploding. Like, you don't have to be old. Did you learn how to do these things at Howard?
No. No, I did not.
Who taught you how to do these things? Nobody, right?
Myself. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Or you got mentors, right? We had a whole conversation before we started recording about funding Speech Connect. How are you going to sustain this? Because the bigger it grows, I know this now, the more people on your newsletter, if you end up having one, the more money that costs. The more data you're running through that directory, or the more people you have running through that directory, and then the more people accessing it, the more that's going to cost you. Now you're going to need tech support at some point, right? This is going to cost money, And are you independently wealthy?
Oh no. Quite the opposite. Right.
No. You're freaking out about 92507 also, and you're a cash-based provider, right?
Yeah.
None of us have money. How do we fund this stuff? And I know for Fix SLP, we went the sustaining partnership route, which has really helped, but maybe that's not the best fit. And so I started asking you about your financials, which we'll get to, but then you get mentorship. When I started Fix SLP, as I've grown, I have leaders in this field that have been so gracious with their time and who have given their time to me. And so when people like you ask a question, I'm not going to be like, you can pay for my mentorship. Let's schedule a meeting. No, I was just like, hold on, let me screen share. Let me show you all this stuff, right? Because we're all women in this field. And if I joked on my last podcast or a live or something, like 12 dudes, like we're all women and 12 dudes doing stuff in this field that we need to lift each other up and work together. So, you got mentorship where you needed it, and as did I, and figuring it out. No one is trained in anything, where none of us know. And then we make mistakes too. We talked about some of my mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And so then you just pivot, you figure it out, you apologize if needed, and you keep going. And when SLPs can be mean, and when they get mean, you keep going.
Absolutely. One of my quotes that I live by is, I build the plane in the sky. Like I just get up there and I figure it out as I'm going. I learn along the way. And then on top of that, like you're saying, like I am so transparent with information. Anybody asks me a question, I'm willing to share, because I feel like you're talking about purpose. I feel like that's my purpose. I'm not afraid to just try and do things. And if I learn along the way, that means I can make it easier for somebody coming behind me. So I feel like that's my job. Like I'm supposed to be making mistakes and learning from them and learning how to do it better the next time, so that I can share that for the person who's trying to figure it out behind me. So I completely agree. And I think more people should do that. It can be scary, yes, and do it scared. And you'll be so proud of yourself. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish.
Yeah. And not even, I know you had a podcast, so I don't know if you were doing it scared, but also pushing through insecurities. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than listening to your own voice.
Oh my gosh.
Every week and being embarrassed. We are our own worst critics, I think. So just reminding yourself that what I'm doing is important, and this isn't about me. This is about the people and the communities I'm trying to serve. You just kind of have to get over yourself. Like that's like this morning I did not one, but 2 lives from bed in pajamas. Okay. I had stuff to say. I'm not going to make my face pretty. Get over yourself, Jeanette. They don't care about you. You just got to push through that to get your work done. And it all works out, I think.
That's such a great point. That is such a great point. I think that's one of the questions I get asked the most. How do you do it all? Do you not feel scared? Do you not feel intimidated or insecure? And I think the biggest answer for me is just like you said, I removed myself from the situation. It's never been about me. My JRC, the SLP platform, was never about me. It was about when I was going into grad school, I had never seen a Black SLP in my life. It was a figment of my imagination. I didn't know we existed until I got to grad school at an HBCU. So for me, starting my social media was, I just want people to see my face so that they know that a Black SLP exists. It was never about me. The SLP social scene, it was never about me. It was about, we need a place where SLPs can come together and be unprofessional with people that they work professionally with, people that are have aligned goals, have the same values, but you can also just let loose and be yourself. We needed that space. I really believe that. Black SLP Magic, same thing. We needed a place where our brilliance was celebrated because we were such a minority. Are such a minority in the field. People don't realize that Black SLPs are doing amazing work.
Oh, yeah.
So we need a place to highlight that. And so now it's the same with Speech Connect. There is a larger problem with the SLP community, especially SLPs who want to work independently, who have private practices, who want to start building their own clientele and are not able to connect with the communities that they want to serve. That is a problem. It's not about me at all. It's about solving this problem so that on a larger scale, the field is better. And so I think just removing yourself from the situation, from what you're trying to do, from what you're trying to build, and actually having a mission, it's so much easier to go past that fear,
Yeah, this is going to be my favorite podcast for a little bit, I think. Yes. I mean, what else do I say to that? I love that you said a place to be with professionals, to be unprofessional. This isn't the purpose of our talk, but I met my friend AC Goldberg at SLP Social Scene. I went and I met him, and he's been on the pod. Should I link that up too? I mean,
Yep.
just so many links this
link
week.
it.
Link everybody. Yeah, so it's such a great space, and I don't know. Let me ask this as a white woman, is it okay? Because I was a little bit intimidated to go to SLP Social Scene as a white woman. And I'm also aware, like I told you earlier about something else, like this space isn't for me. So that space wasn't necessarily created for me. So is the space for everybody?
Yes, SLP Social Scene is absolutely a space for everybody. And contrary to popular belief, so is Black SLP Magic. And this is what our stance is on both of those. We as Black women, mostly in the field, wherever we go, 99% of the time, we are the minority. We're the ones that stand out. We're the ones that probably feel uncomfortable or have imposter syndrome, or like, have to figure out how we're going to maneuver in this space because it doesn't feel like it's created for us. So all we did was flip that around. We created a space that was made for us, but everybody is welcome. We want everybody there. We want everybody to see this brilliance that Black SLP has. We want everybody to learn from these. We have amazing speakers every single year. We want everybody to come learn and hear from them, so you know what you're missing out on if you haven't. And then same for Social Scene. This is a space created for everybody. And it's not, obviously it is race and ethnicity, but it's gender. It's how you present yourself. I want some, one of my favorite questions when somebody was like trying to figure out what they're wearing to Social Scene, they're like, "Are titties okay?" And I was like, "Absolutely, bring them out." It's just like
I mean, that's kind of what it's like. I mean, I was wearing a sweater and I was very, very overdressed.
Yeah,
no, under was not how I showed up that year, and I don't know that I'd get titties out if I came back. I mean, that is like Jeanette circa 2001. Like, no one wants to see these anymore. But
you know what? I don't believe that. I don't believe it. But somebody wants to see it. But yes, it's just my whole point in creating a Social Scene is I want people to come here and be themselves, period. Like, I just want you to come have a good time and let loose, because I rarely felt that way in spaces within the profession. So I wanted to create that space for people, regardless of what you look like, what you dress like, what you listen to, how you dance, like, just bring it all to the table. So yes, definitely both spaces are created for everybody. And then I also like to add, one of the biggest ways to support these movements for Black people, people of color, anybody who is underrepresented, is to show up, is to put your money where your mouth is, buy a ticket, come buy a drink, like come get a plate of food, because the food is also always really good. So yes, like that's one of the biggest ways to be supportive, is to show up and be present and see what the space is like, see how it feels for you to be in it. So yeah, highly recommend.
So it just occurred to me, we have new listeners tuning in every week. There's probably a lot of people who don't know who you are. And so would you want to tell us real quick what SLP Social Scene and what Black SLP Magic are and when they happen? Because I think those are some important details.
Yes, definitely. So Black SLP Magic and SLP Social Scene, we just had our 5th annual event. So we started in 2020. Black SLP Magic Conference is a 1-day conference where it's a panel-based 30-minute structure where there are real topics where we're talking about race and ethnicity for some things, and also just like really amazing topics that are under discussed in the field. And so every year we have amazing speakers, some of the best I've ever seen. And they're really short and really digestible panels. So it's very different from other like CEU events that you'll go to. And it's also really, I like to call it familial. It feels like church on Sunday. It feels like we're sitting in the pews and the people on stage are like preaching to us about things related to our passion, which is speech pathology and a variety of different specialties within the field. And then one of the things that I think makes it really special is we have audience interaction. Like the audience is asking questions immediately after the talk. We always have Q&A. Then afterwards, the speakers are still there. They're still present. They're perusing around. You can have deeper conversations with them. You can connect with them. People have met mentors. People have met business partners all at this conference because of just the way that people are engaging with each other. It's so friendly, and just a lot more relaxed than what you would feel at like a typical CEU event. So that's one day. We usually end around like 4, start in the morning and go till 4. Always have breakfast and lunch provided. Again, always really good food. And then for the nighttime, we have the after party, which is the SLP social scene, where you get to come and be engaged and party with these people who you were just at the CEU event with. Or even if you weren't there, we have people that just come to the social scene to party, which I'm okay with for sure. So again, just another one of these events where you're just there to have a good time. You're there to be hanging out with people who share the same values, share the same passions, and you can actually be your full self around them. And that's where I feel like you get to make the best connections with people. You said you've met friends there. I know I've met friends there. I know people who have met there and again, started whole businesses together, built friendships. So I think it's just a really special place to be because there's nothing like it. There's like every year, every time I leave, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to be there again. It's just a great feeling to be a part of.
Yeah, it was fun when I went. And, I had my Fix SLP After Dark meetup. And so I very strategically scheduled it on a separate night. So if there was anyone who wanted to go to both, they could. Man, those are hard to plan. That's a lot of work.
Yes, I've learned a lot along the way. We've learned a lot. Chelsea Essick and I, or Onya Hallam is her new last name. We do it all independently. It's just her and I, we figured out we're, again, another thing that's pretty much self-funded. We do have some great sponsors who usually support every year. I think last year was the first year out of 5 that we didn't have to come out of pocket for something.
Really?
Shout out to our sponsors. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But that's another one of those things where it's like, we are not making money out of this. We created this space because it was necessary. And I think, as time goes on, we get more support, and, things kind of even out, which is hopefully where we're headed. But we create things because they're necessary.
Well, good for you for making the pricing accessible then. Because, I haven't looked at the pricing, but then you're keeping the cost low enough where it's accessible so people can come without you guys really going into debt over it. So good for you. So since we're talking about money and funding, I want to bring this up. When I reached out to Jordan, I said to her, I've done fundraising in the SLP community before, and I asked you what your expenses were because I was already doing them in my head, and it was about what I thought. And I actually slightly lower. So good for you. And I said, would you be open to me doing a fundraiser for you to help get you off the ground and funded? If I could fund you for a year, that would be amazing. And you said yes. So thank you for saying yes to me and allowing me to do this for you. So to anyone who's listening, I am going to be opening up a fundraiser on GoFundMe. By the time this airs, I will know. So you can look in the show notes. You can look on our social media, and I'll probably put something in the bar at the top of fixslp.com because that's always easy to remember for people. And you can click there, and everything that's donated is going to go straight to Jordan for Speech Connect to keep her funded so she can keep focusing on important work. And at some point, you have to put money away for retirement, right? You can't put all of your funding into all these projects. So, to just help her get this off the ground because it is so needed. And you didn't know that I was going to do this, but we talked about finances a little bit before. And, until recently, I was doing Fix SLP completely for free. I'm going to lead by example, and I'm going to start with a $100 donation from me on behalf of Fix SLP. So that'll be the first donation in there.
Yay.
I'm not expecting everyone to do that. If you guys can give $5, $10, my goal is to get her to $5,000. If we go over, that's super cool. If we go under, it's still going to be a huge blessing for her, but I would love to see her get there. I don't think I'm going to put an end date on this. I want to keep it open as long as we think we need to. And maybe it's just an indefinite thing that if people want to donate to help keep you funded, as long as that thing can stay open, or maybe at some point we switch it over, or I don't know. We'll talk about that on the back end of this, but I really want to see you get to 5,000. So again, Jordan has nothing to do with this. She hasn't asked me to do it. I said I want to do it because this is so needed. And I recognize that, especially for people of color, like, yes, kids need to see people like themselves always. I think that is so important.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. And I'm really excited about it. And I hope I can push this out in the middle of everything else I'm doing. I'm going to give it my best try. So if you see our social media content on this and you think it's important, please share it in the spaces. I know that SLPs can make things go viral, because my 92507, the yellow post that I posted 8 days ago, in views alone, is approaching 235,000 views on the original post. That doesn't count all of the stuff that people have shared, okay? We know how to make stuff go viral. If you can, share the post about Jordan's new Speech Connect, just to get it out there. So number one, people know and can register. And number two, so they can support. And the thing is, like I said earlier in the podcast, maybe you don't have the $5 to give. That's okay. You can interact with the post so it gets bumped up in the algorithm. We'd like a love over a thumbs up, because when you spend more time getting to those other emojis, the algorithm sees that interaction for a little longer. Okay, we want to love, we want to share, we want to save. In fact, we want a couple shares. We want you to message it to somebody, but also, most importantly, we want you to have it available so you can give it to people when they need referrals. So get yourself in there and use it. And that brings me to another question. I have 2 questions I haven't asked yet. The first one is, I have a lot of new people following that are business owners. Can business owners go in and register their business if they employ a bunch of SLPs, or are they not allowed to do that? How does this work for the community? How do we get in there? Who gets in there now?
Perfect. Yeah, so it will be completely free at 100% of the time to list individual SLPs. There will be a separate tier for business owners, clinic spaces, to have like an umbrella landing page where you'll have your clinic branding on the top of the page for your site, and then you'll also have each individual clinician listed with all of their information, like filterable information, whether it's race, ethnicity, other identifiers, their specialties, their care approach, other languages they might speak. All of that information will be for each individual listing, and you'll have your umbrella for your business owner or your clinic.
Cool. The next question was, you said there's different things we can click about the services we provide. And I thought some of the questions were really good. Like, are you neuroaffirming? Those kinds of questions. And I didn't want to oversell myself. So there were a lot of boxes that I didn't check that, in retrospect, I was like, you know what, Jeanette, you do those things. So stop thinking that you don't. Am I able to go back and make adjustments? And if so, how?
Yes, great question. This is another one of those expenses. There will be a reviewer and somebody who's going to go through and make sure, verify license numbers, make sure all the information is filled out, and they will reach out to you individually to make sure this is what I have for your listing at this point. These are the other options. Is there anything you want me to add? Is there any other, there's a note section if there's not an option, and you can type in the note so it'll show up on your listing. So somebody will reach out to you prior to launch to make sure that your listing is exactly as you want it to be. And then that will be a continuous communication, a line of communication at all times.
When I signed up, was that communicated to me? Did I miss that?
No, you have not missed it. This is a new announcement.
Okay,
this is a new announcement.
Okay, so when you heard it here, folks. Okay, Fix SLP
heard
has
it here
released
first.
today. So when someone signs up, do they now get a message that they'll be contacted?
Yes. So when you are signed up, you get your confirmation email. And then once I start reviewing, which will be this week, I'll reach out. You'll get a confirmation that you've been approved. And then you'll have a confirmation email that says, this is what we have for your listing. These are the other options you haven't selected. Is there anything missing?
Okay.
Make sure everything is confirmed. And then you'll be green lighted to show up on the site.
Okay. So the site isn't live yet. People shouldn't be sharing it.
Not for searching.
Okay.
For searching, it's not live. It's not launched to be searched. Right now, we're just building the list of the directory. So submissions are open, submissions are free. We're building the database. So that's what I want people to share right now is send it to other SLPs, make sure that people are listed, make sure that they're prepared for when it is launched, because we want to make sure that there's a database for people to search. So get everybody that you know to sign up, to register so that we have the central location for SLPs to be found.
All right. I just had another question. Again, I don't remember. I feel like I just filled this thing out 5 minutes ago. It could have been 5 weeks ago. I don't know. With my LLC for my scope business, I serve more than one state. Was there an opportunity for me to put both states in?
Yes. So you can select multiple states and you can put in your multiple license numbers. That's like a type in field as well. So all your states that are listed, all your license numbers, and then you can put that if you do teletherapy or virtual services too.
Okay, so that can be added later then when the reviewer reaches out.
That's what I was just going to say.
Perfect.
That's no problem because we're going to reach out and make sure everything is on there that you need to be.
We're on the same page. Okay. All right. So where can people follow all of your things? So Speech Connect, but then also everything else because you have 900 handles. Give them all, and you just need like a link tree, but give them all, and I will link all of them in the show notes.
Perfect. So for Speech Connect, the Instagram is Speech Connect Directory, Speech Connect Directory as it sounds. All information is there. My social media is JRC _ the SLP. That's my social media for everything, and that is linked to Speech Connect. So if you find JRC, you'll find Speech Connect, and speechconnect.org is the website. You can go there to submit your directory listing, submit everything that you need to all your information. Make sure you submit that form as soon as possible so you're ready for the launch. And that's it. I mean, SLP Social Scene, that's on Instagram too.
Black SLP Magic. Black SLP, they're all on there. You Black have a SLP lot of Magic. Accounts.
I do. But everything is on JRC, the SLP. So that is like where I house everything. That's my personal brand and everything extends from there. So check that out. Also, my private practice, I've started making a lot of different materials. So I have like a new speech sound assessment. I have the cultural responsive clinician handbook, other like therapy materials, screening materials, and that's on raintherapy.com.
I have 2 more questions. We're going to pitch even more. This wasn't planned, but it's Black History Month. So happy Black History Month.
Thank you.
Don't you have a free CEU that people can watch coming from somewhere? Didn't I see that? Because I'm taking it. I saved it and then immediately forgot about it, but I am going to do it. So tell us where to find it and when people can watch it through, because obviously there are people who still want to get DEI CEUs, and I think it looked like a really good one to do. So where can we find that?
Black SLP Magic is partnering with Speech Therapy PD to put on this 4-hour CEU conference virtually. And so this is February 22nd. Again, all virtual. Chelsea and I will be hosting, and we have 4 different presentations that are amazing speakers. You're going to get some great knowledge, great information. Yes, shout out to Speech Therapy PD. You can check them out, speechtherapypd.com. Everything will be on there. Also, it's on the Black SLP Magic page too. And
if you love what they're doing, Fix SLP has the only promo code right now, I think, the only affiliate code for a discount. That is always linked in our show notes. And they were early supporters. They modified their CE tracker so all SLPs could use it for free. So 18,000 reasons right now to head over to Speech Therapy PD. I'm going to have to link them up too in the show note. There's going to be some long show notes.
Link them up.
Yeah. Okay. So that was thing number 1. And then are you still doing something for AC for credit?
No, okay. That we haven't done that for a while, but I was the proctor for the Anti-Black Racism and Communication Sciences and Disorders. It was ran through Fitchburg State. You could get CUs, you could get college credits. It was really amazing, great reviews. So stay on the lookout in case it does come back. It will probably be like towards the end of this year if it does. But
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Stay on the lookout for that.
I guess I didn't realize it wasn't like an ongoing thing that you could just register for and take at any time, like other CEs. Okay. All right. Well, that's something else that you occasionally do. Keep a lookout. All right, Jordan, is there anything else you do like that I don't follow or did we hit it all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we hit it all.
All right. Well, now that 5-minute segment is over. What else? Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Yes. Thank you. I want to thank you for bringing me on, for wanting to support Speech Connect. I really, really believe this could change the field. I think we are on a path to change in this field, and I know that the fixers are a huge part of that path. Like you said in the beginning, I like to think that I was a part of the beginning of Fix SLP.
You were.
SLP Data Initiative.
100%.
So I'm an OG fixer. I believe in the fixers, and I think that Speech Connect can really make a change for this field and decentralizing ASHA, making what should be autonomous, making it autonomous again, and allowing people to find us as clinicians, not based on who we know or based on where we're certified, just based on the work that you do as a clinician. So I think that this is going to change the field, and I want you all to be a part of it. Please support in any way that you can. And thank you. I appreciate you all.
All right. So next week, everybody, I said last week we were going to have West Virginia on, State Association. Instead, we had Jordan. Sorry, they got bumped. But actually, I haven't had a chance to record it yet. And Jordan and I were just able to coordinate a little better. They're not going to be on next week either, because I already know what's coming next week. And that is the infamous Rick Gowenda. And if you don't know who he is a guru for many private practice owners. He is a PT. He does a regional conference, and he is someone who kind of waved the flag to say, hey, SLPs, you need to be concerned about what's happening with 92507. He has also signed the confidentiality agreement, but like me, is not afraid to talk about what he can. So he's coming on. Tune in next week. There's going to be a lot to talk about. Thanks again, Jordan, for coming on. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for fixing it. Thanks for listening to the Fix SLP podcast, the podcast shaking up the field of speech-language pathology. Don't forget to check out our social media or fixslp.com for our latest promo codes for continuing education, therapy materials, merch, and more. Supporting our sponsors also supports our Fix SLP team. Don't just listen, be a part of the change. Share this episode and our social media content, and let's keep fixing the field one bite at a time.